At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, job secured. AML employees impacted by Monday's roaring fire given the assurance of continued work as officials count the cost of widespread loss. Also, the U.S. advisory met with one from the Bahamas as locals are forewarned about traveling to the United States. And we have the details of what's holding up the next phase of SpaceX landings here in the Bahamas. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. More than 24 hours later, and smoke billows from the collapsed rooftops of Solomon Supercenter and Cartwright. The exterior warped, the interior gutted. Both buildings now just charred shells of what they once were. A mass effort on the part of firefighters to save what's left, if anything at all. Now, Danielle Dean returned to the fiery scene where, at best, there is an assurance about job security.
For the long haul, a crew of 12 firefighters again working through the dead of the night to ensure multiple hotspots of Monday's raging fire in the generator room of Solomon Supercenter off East-West Highway are extinguished. And according to Chief Fire Officer Superintendent Damaris Armbrister, even then, smoke is likely to permeate the air for another few days. Structurally, he says the roofs of both Solomons and Cartwright have caved in. On the same Tuesday morning, Chairman of the Consumer Protection Commission, Senator the Honorable Randy Roll, who said regrettably none of the products of both Solomons and Cartwright are any good for consumers.
We're confident and comfortable that the providers will know this and, of course, not try to pass it on to consumer. There are some persons who come from all over the island just for this location, and so we're optimistic. We're happy to know that, they have a contingency plan. Based on the reports that I received, there were no jobs. There will be no jobs that will be affected. Just
down the road, officials at the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation were on a walkabout of the Old Trail Road site, assessing damage. BAIC Chairman, Senator the Honorable Darren Pickstock, spoke to concerns that their products might have been impacted as well.
We are operating as usual. The produce exchange is still open. People are still shopping. We did evacuate yesterday, all of our staff members, so all of them were sent home yesterday. And obviously they're back this morning because, of the minor damage the facilities received.
Our news team reached out to AML's executive team, who assured that they will be releasing a statement. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Now, while an official cause of the fire has yet to be determined, AML Foods Vice President of Marketing, Renee Bastian, confirming in a statement today details of the company's initial investigation into the blaze. Devontae Hanna is live in studio at that angle. Devontae?
Yeah, well, Makushla, it's a pretty devastating 48 hours for AML Food Stores. A collective $32.5 million investment from that company is still at this hour billowing with smoke. Solomon's only completed its conversion to a supercenter in July of last year, and its newest Cartwright opened a mere 4 months ago in the Old Trail building. Now, while authorities are still working to find out the exact cause of that massive blaze that erupted yesterday, teams are still working to uncover the insurmountable damage left in its fury. Renee Bastian, AML Foods Vice President of Marketing, confirmed in a statement their initial investigation.
While the exact cause of the fire is still under investigation by the relevant authorities, we can confirm that the fire did not originate in the generator room at the Solomon's Old Trail location, contrary to recent media reports. In fact, we confirm that as of this morning, the Solomon's generator and electrical room, which were not affected by the fire, remain intact and operational. We do understand that immediately before the fire, construction work was being carried out at the rear of the Department of Labor building in the vicinity of a fuel tank. We can also confirm that this construction work was in no way affiliated with Solomon's or Cartwright.
Well, we saw the harrowing videos that have now gone viral with the people of all ages scrambling to leave the area as the fire raged on. And if you could just look at that video, you can see how massive the damage is to both of those buildings and those companies, I should say. The AML executive also noted that while the damage to Solomon's and Cartwright is significant, the company is incredibly thankful to report that all staff members and customers were safely evacuated before the fire spread.
While we are certainly devastated by the loss of our stores, our commitment to our employees and the community is as strong as ever. We have activated our business continuity plans, and our team members are being temporarily relocated to work at our nearby store locations to ensure job security and, of course, minimize disruption to their lives. We are already actively exploring the next steps, including plans to rebuild, and we will keep the community informed as these efforts move forward. Our assets are fully insured, and we have begun discussions with our partners, and we are confident that we will fully recover from this.
Well, there's some light at the end of the tunnel for AML Foods, who also commended the hard work and the quick action from store teams and their company emergency protocols. We can tell you that at this moment, firefighters are working well into the night to tame the blaze as it continues to rage on. Makushla.
Well, thanks, Devontae. And speaking of firefighters, we can tell you that the 6 firefighters injured in the blaze are tonight resting comfortably at home. Well, meantime, yesterday's blaze engulfed a considerable portion of a normally busy commercial district. And today our news team spoke with one business owner who luckily managed to escape the burn from this massive fire. Corval Pyfrom reports.
The impact of this fire on surrounding businesses is still being assessed. Easy Car Sales, which is a few structures west of the blaze site, were forced to shut its doors early yesterday, but fortunately today, operators say it was back to business as usual. Tuesday morning, while Easy Car Sales' Pia Farmer counted her blessings that her nearby business wasn't swept up in yesterday's fire fury, her neighbors were still top of mind.
We're very sorry for our neighbors. We will reconstruct and help them re-beautify and bring that area back.
Farmer says as Monday's blaze grew rapidly and quickly spread, so did their concerns, forcing them to make immediate decisions to save both lives and inventory.
Of course, we were very nervous yesterday because the fire was spreading. So we moved all of our vehicles from that side of the lot. You know, we are in the corner of Abundant Life and the highway. So we moved our vehicles and we evacuated our staff because to avoid any danger to them.
Meanwhile, Tuesday, the construction team for the Hyacinth Stewart building, which was to be the home of government agencies, immigration, labor, and disaster risk management, was still trying to wrap their heads around how this all happened. Michael Klanaris, the construction firm's CEO.
We just saw around 10:30 in the morning a fire start by the between the generator and the generator tank of Solomon's of AOL. So we evacuated the whole building and we called the 919, 911. It's the same thing anyway. They came over here, but we couldn't stop it. They couldn't stop it. So at this point, we wait for the investigators to come and let us know what actually happened.
Assessment's not completed yet, but as far as he's concerned, this is near complete destruction.
The whole thing is damaged, is destroyed. Our site and AOL site also.
Corval Pyfrom for the Bahamas Tonight.
Well, in other news tonight, it's been at least 4 months since the government sent a diplomatic note to the United States asking for clarity on the arrest of Bahamians, including 2 police officers and a Defense Force Marine, all named in a federal indictment alleging a massive cocaine transshipment operation. Responding to questions from the media, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis said he believes those officers are entangled in a case of entrapment.
That whole operation is concerning to me because on the face of it, it appeared to be an entrapment of officers, and that is concerning. So I'm not So I've not heard from them. So we are trying to we await the two officials, the police officer and the defense force officers that made their appearances in court. I understand they're in discovery now, and we'll see what happens.
That indictment names Police Chief Superintendent Elvis Nathaniel Curtis, Sergeant Prince Albert Simonet, Defense Force Petty Officer Darren Roker, and others, including Theodore Nathaniel Adderley, a.k.a. Blue. The state-appointed attorney believes that prosecutors have named the wrong man. That after Ulrich Jean-Baptiste was recently arrested in the Dominican Republic. His attorney asking New York Supreme Court Judge Woods of the Southern District to dismiss those charges. This case has a court date set for May 30th. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
This one? No. Hey, look, KFC has an incredible promo.
I already had that for lunch.
Oh.
Crunch your hunger cravings and satisfy the whole family with KFC bucket meals starting at just $20. Get freshly prepared golden fried chicken, buttery biscuits, and add your favorite large size. Bucket meals starting at just $20. KFC, finger licking good.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new room?
And dreams become your life.
This is retirement.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
What is this? Oh, ghost pepper burger. Chicken. I always at Popeyes, so me just come and taste their chicken.
Wow.
Nice, crunchy. This is off the chisholm.
Wow, that is way better than I expected. Very spicy, extremely spicy actually. The bread is very soft. The chicken is juicy. Yeah, that's spicy food.
Portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
You're looking at a shot there of Bahamas' lush 18-hole golf course on Cable Beach. That shot courtesy of our drone pilot, Neville Smith. Welcome back. The government sounding the alarm for Bahamians living in the United States and those planning to travel there. Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, says a travel advisory is being issued for those wanting to visit the U.S. as a active measure in response to increased scrutiny Bahamians may face due to shifting immigration policies and travel concerns under the Trump administration. He assures the advisory, usually issued during the Christmas holiday, is not out of the ordinary. But then there's the current temperature in the U.S.
What our Director General thought in the circumstances of the immigration pressure that's being put on inside the United States, and some reports which indicate that there may be certain prejudicial decisions being made, that there is a need to exercise even more caution in advancing across U.S. borders to make sure that the answers are correct to your stay, that you don't have anything which is contraband, make sure that your passports and all documentation is in order. And that's essentially what it says. So I wouldn't put anything sort of exceptional about it. But the fact is that there is this changed climate within the U.S., and I think this has to be acknowledged. And we have a duty to say to our citizens to exercise the appropriate caution.
Minister Mitchell also revealing that mounting immigration pressure has led to a noticeable increase in passport applications for Bahamians living overseas, particularly in places like Florida and New York.
Essentially, if you move to the States and you stay there, a lot of Bahamians went there and just never came back. And so the question of having a document like a passport never arose. And it appears now that this immigration pressure is being put. There's a necessity to get the passport. And so that's been happening. The chief passport officer acting tells me that they've not had any difficulty meeting the demand, so there isn't an issue on that side. But what I do say to people is that you have to be cautious and careful to make sure that you have all the documents in order.
In other news, could there be a rise in reported cases of domestic violence? Well, the National Security Minister says we may see just that as victims become more comfortable coming forward. Felicity Darville tells us more.
A bed and a place to rest for the night. For some, it may seem simple, but for a victim escaping domestic violence, it's a lifeline. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says with the opening of this building, we may see a rise in reports of domestic violence.
I would say that centers like this, in the initial instance, may well result in an increase in certain categories of crime as people become more comfortable reporting crimes, knowing that they will be received and supported.
If you're a victim of domestic violence, call the Police Domestic Violence Unit at 322-HELP. That's 322-4357, so you can be assessed for immediate assistance at this 24-hour shelter. Assistant Commissioner of Police Janet McKinsey tells us what should happen next.
So what happens after that 24 hours is that social services kicks in. So this unit is for high-risk emergency cases where we want to get a victim out of a space and in a safe space immediately, and then social services will kick in with the other stuff that they do, ensuring that they have longer-term housing.
This mural was painted by a victim of domestic violence, and at the bottom, its foundation, the family. And that's the hope of those who will work here at the Domestic Violence Unit, that some happy endings will come out of it, and that some Bahamian families will be able to be reunited. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Well, more than a month after a SpaceX Starship rocket exploded mid-flight, leaving behind debris in local waters, questions linger, and officials are hoping to have them answered before moving full steam ahead into the lucrative space industry. Lloyd Allen tells us more.
Space tourism, an industry pegged at around $14 billion by 2030, and the Bahamas is poised to receive a significant portion of that. Now, moving forward, officials say they're waiting on a post-launch report from SpaceX from the recent launch done right here in the Bahamas.
This exercise was considered to be successful. The DUPP, as indicated before, we're still awaiting the required post-launch report, but it is my understanding that we should receive that before the Easter.
While SpaceX has been prohibited from any other entries prior to the assessment of that report, the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection Director, Dr. Rihanna Neely, is confident all that can be done to mitigate environmental impact has been done, especially following the March 6th anomaly.
There was an anomaly that occurred in space concerning the Starship. And this was not an exercise that was meant for re-entry in the Bahamian territory. That evening, an emergency meeting was called among all government stakeholders to determine what would be the next steps.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, shared additional updates from debris recovered in local waters.
I note also that additional debris has been recovered in our territory, linked not only to SpaceX, but to 3 additional companies operating within the broader aerospace and commercial launch industry. We are continually investigating these findings.
While those companies were not named, SpaceX has committed to partnering with the Bahamas in protecting and educating.
Everything was picked up and that there was a way for folks to tell us if new things showed up.
Officials are also hopeful that in the future, Bahamians too will be a part of similar space expeditions going as far as Mars. Reporting from the Ministry of Tourism for the Bahamas tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Well, thanks, Lloyd. There's more to come when the National Report returns.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community, also help with the education of our kids in this community, and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Custom Computers and Alive on the business spectrum, we work well together. We want to offer clients the best in technology.
What Custom Computers is offering for the Alive business partnership is HP Pro small form factor desktop. We're including with it the 27-inch conferencing monitor, so you can have that meeting at home or at work in a private area, just like you're sitting next to that person.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code. Select your payment amount and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Of the news is brought to you by 700 Wines and Spirits, bringing celebration across the nation.
Well, now is as good a time as any to check in with LaDawn and Marlena for a sneak peek of what's coming up in Access Now.
Because look, we're going to be about monthly instead of quarterly on our, I guess, H2O usage bills. What do you think about that? Is that a good move, Marlena Amakushla?
I think it may be a good move. It'll keep us more disciplined, set that money aside a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think a lot of Bahamians are still accustomed to the 3-month.
It might take an adjustment period.
Yeah.
As does everything, you know?
Yeah.
But stay with us. Our feature story is up next.
Diet-friendly special.
Is
is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Did you know the National Insurance Act provides for an insured pregnant woman to access her maternity benefit before or after delivering her baby? Expecting mothers are entitled to 13 weeks of maternity leave, which can be applied for by completing the Med-2 claim for maternity benefit form. Section A is completed by a registered physician or certified midwife. The medical practitioner certifies the expected or actual confinement period, signs the form, and affixes their official stamp. Forms completed by medical practitioners outside of the Bahamas must be accompanied by the physician's business card. In sections B and C, the claimant provides personal and employment details, declares their last day at work, signs and dates the form. The Med-2 form is always accompanied by Form Med-4 or Employer Certificate, which is completed by the employer. Both the Med-2 and accompanying Med-4 forms must be submitted within 3 months from the first day of confinement. Forms submitted outside of this period are considered late and will be subject to review by the Late Claims Committee. Before submitting forms, check that all fields are accurately completed. Incomplete forms or forms with incorrect information will delay the processing of your benefit application. For more information, visit the NIB website at nib-bahamas.com.
And before we leave, the Aquinas College ACES emerging victorious during the Ministry of Education's 27th Annual National High School Debate Competition. The high school seniors debating the topic, "Be it resolved that due to the technological advances in the 21st century, the physical presence of teachers is no longer needed." Following Aquinas were the Jack Haywood Wildcats out of Grand Bahama. The St. John's College Giants secured 3rd place. Congratulations to all students, teachers, faculty, and family on certainly a job well done. And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.